You tend to get paranoid when everyone around you gets dead. That's life. Garbage Day! I'm John Renton with the retro review of Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 for 1987, with a heaping helping of footage from Silent Night, Deadly Night from 1984. Seriously, the runtime for this movie would have fit right in a VHS anthology had, well, the VHS anthology style been invented by this point, even though anthology horror had been going on for a number of years, such as Trilogy of Terror, 999, Die, Die, Die. That didn't look like a knife at all, with, of course, the tiki, whatever the hell it was, and Karen Black being in that. Karen Black is nowhere near this, but I just felt like shouting that. I may actually retro review Trilogy of Terror for next Halloween, or at some point, because there's probably going to be a lot of retro content such as this, but I decided to be more festive and talk about this shortly after watching Silent Night, Deadly Night, well, Part 1. Fun fact, I've actually only ever seen the 3 movies. I didn't know they did a 4th, or a 5th, or a 6th. I've never actually seen all of the 2012 one. I saw a little bit of it, didn't impress me. And I saw the 2023 Silent Night, which I guess was horrifying in the sense they thought a gimmick like that was something that they could stretch into a full movie. Speaking of a full movie, this ain't it, Chief. It was written and directed by Lee Harry and was also written by Joseph E. Earl, or H. Hurl, whatever. I felt like hurling while watching this. And the story, such as it was done by Dennis Don't Call Me Pat Patterson and Lawrence Applebaum, and features a very committed performance by Eric Freeman, who apparently got conflicting direction from the story, the people writing it, and the director, and that's why you get this really topsy-turvy performance that admittedly is the only thing worth seeing this movie for. That scene on the street where he just goes maniacal and just crazy for a little bit, that's when the movie comes to life, ironically, as people die. Other than that, this movie is painful. It's still not the worst thing that you will see from the 80s because it has Garbage Day and it has a few neat little things, but it doesn't have nearly the fun that the first one did. And the first one was even stretching things very thin with its premise and the fact that there really wasn't much of a story to it. So yes, besides Eric Freeman, that's about it. You do have James Newman. You have Elizabeth Kaitan, who's admittedly very attractive. Very, very attractive. And other than that, you don't really have anybody else that you'll recognize. I mean, maybe a couple people, but nothing, like noteworthy. So this had a $100,000 budget. For comparison's sake, that is a tenth of what the 1984 one had. Even the first Halloween was made for like $380,000 to $400-something thousand. Even the first Friday the 13th movie was made for a significant amount of money. I mean, yes, or at least significant amount of money in comparison to this. It's just wild to think that this being released on a $100,000 budget, and they thought they could just fill it with flashbacks and no one would care. So really, you don't actually have to see the first one because you get the full recap here. And if you've seen the first one, you could literally skip through half of this movie and not miss shit. The fact that they wanted just, scenes interspersed with Eric basically playing a mental patient to prove that what Billy did was just the delusions of a madman, meaning they were either trying to retcon the thing or take the story in a different direction. To be fair, Billy was mad. He also had a point. It wasn't a very good point, and I'm not saying do it, but Mother Superior kind of had it coming. We go 4 minutes and 30 seconds into this before the first line of dialogue is spoken, and then soon after we get, oh, fuck off, Doc. What's happening? Fuck off, Doc. And then we get, the more adult version of Bugs Bunny. So yeah, Ricky just recounts literally everything that happened in the first movie. I mean, with some edits, but like we have the kills, we have the part with Santa killing the family, and just the various things. And also, Ricky recounts when Billy saw the 2 people doing it in the St. Mary's orphanage. He's recounting this, folks. So we're 40 minutes in, and we find out we get a film about Ricky having a foster family, and then he sees something where he sees red, literal red, and it reminds him of seeing Santa getting killed and the stuff that he went through. So his foster mom talks to Sister Mary. He thought that they were going to send him back. No, it was more they just wanted answers. And Morty, who is the stepdad, wanted to spend more time with him and work on him. They said it's going to be a tough thing, but Morty seemed like a good guy. Then he died 5 years later. And then, again, we are halfway through this movie by this point. I mean, it's incredible that this got made. It's incredible that this was allowed to happen with recycling that footage. And another woman gets assaulted. What is it with the people making these films and assaulting women? What did women ever do to you? So Ricky sees it as naughty, runs the guy over in his Jeep, despite the fact that the guy's literally there at the bumper. I mean, yes, you can knock somebody out, but I don't know. It just seemed a little bit weird as far as physics, but she thanks him and leaves, and then he is working at a hotel or restaurant or whatever, witnesses a goofy mob guy beating up some guy that owes him money. So then he beats him up and holds him up and then puts an umbrella in him and opens it up through him. I mean, it's physics be damned, but you know what? Fuck it. It was funny. That's at least when the movie was coming alive. But mind you, he is recounting all this. So pretty much, even though we saw everything up until Billy died, and then we saw the stuff about Ricky and the foster family and everything. And we're seeing that stuff, but we didn't see it in the first one. This is still all flashbacks. Like, that's just the miracle part of this. It's all flashbacks and no real, current footage. And the umbrella scene was kind of nice. He ends up meeting Elizabeth when she accidentally runs into him. women drivers in the 80s, am I right, lads? Oh, those women, they always thought they could do something other than wear shoulder pads and have hair-sprayed hair. That ought to take care of every woman that is watching this. I kid, of course. Boy, Elizabeth, God, geez, she was hot. Good Lord. And loud people in the theater lead basically to Ricky killing one of the patrons. We've all wanted to do that. I used to work at a movie theater and would have to bust numerous people for talking loudly. Everybody's going to whisper something to somebody if they're, with someone in the movie. Oh, hey, what, you think that was cool? Like during the park, people will do that. Full-on conversations like that is ridiculous. Also, there is a gay slur that was said by the guy that got killed that I will not mention here, and please do not mention it in the comments. But, and then the movie that they're watching actually is about Santa killing people. From literally footage from the first movie. We cannot escape this, folks. We can't escape. Oh, my God. My God, I don't remember much about the third, but if the third one does stuff like this, I might actually just full on lose it. So, Chip then is an old boyfriend of Jennifer. I forgot Elizabeth's name because that's how indistinguishable she is from other blondes as far as a character. Chip, who kind of looks like Ricky in a blonde wig, is an old ex as opposed to a new ex. And yeah, he's kind of, full on dick implying Jennifer will be back with him. The most hilarious part is when he runs into Chip a little bit later along with Jennifer and ends up killing him by sticking some of those, the jumper cables in his mouth and shocking him. And very bad prosthetics here. I know they had a $100,000 budget, but good Lord. He then ends up killing Jennifer because she says she hates him. And then shoots one cop right in the head, and then shoots another guy in I assume a Cowboys jersey, I don't know, calls him a motherfucker. 87 also is when the Cowboys actually were winning championships, or at least in more contention. I know they won championships in the 96 season, I think, and then that's it, because the Cowboys athletics are continuing to go further downhill because Jerry Jones is a bad owner. But anyway, he does that. So we're getting some fun stuff. He's just laughing maniacally while this is going on because he's full on snapped. Nothing has worked out for him. Killing his girlfriend, doing all that. And then he ends up, the guy puts the garbage can out. Garbage day? No. And then he shoots him. And he's laughing maniacally, blowing the smoke off the gun. It's funny. I mean, it's not, but at least the movie's trying to come alive with a bunch of death. And then he shoots a guy, and causes a car to go off the wrote an Explode, which probably was at least, I would say, 10,000 of the budget. I mean, I don't know how much a car actually would have cost back then, but I'm assuming it was a sizable chunk of the budget for that and the controlled blast. But very obvious stunt double. If it wasn't a stunt double, then they put Eric in a wig because it was very badly shot. And then he was going to take his own life, but no more bullets. Oh, and then, by the way, he has killed the doctor during this because they allowed him to not just be handcuffed to the chair recounting this. He's recounting all this while these orderlies are out there and told to leave. Where granted, the orderlies would have died, but the doctor's dead. He escapes, kills some people off camera, my favorite type of death, and then he kills a donation Santa, one of the bell ringers, to steal change to make a call on a payphone. Because, yes, kids, we didn't always have smartphones. We used to have to call people on payphones. And then you could slam them down when you got a bad call. And those were the days. You can't really get that aggression out like this by just hitting a button on here. But nevertheless, he ends up basically telling Mother Superior he is coming after her. Mother Superior has retired. She apparently sat in lava because her face is just boiled, or she has the bubonic plague. Sister Margaret, I believe, played by a totally different person. If not, I don't know what the fuck she did with her hair. He's going to kill her. And she's in a wheelchair and keeps slamming the door, almost gets his fingers. He cuts through the door. She's locked it, but he has an axe. And then she falls down the goddamn steps, live for New York. It's Saturday night. And here is funny. He's trying to get his axe out of the goddamn chair. Instead of just, putting his hand on the goddamn chair and pulling out, he is frustrated. And then she's calling him naughty, saying all this. He's like, naughty this, boom. And then we cut to cops and Mother Margaret's showing up. And Mother Superior is there, but then she literally lost her head over this. And then we get Ricky being shot a couple times, once by a shotgun, falls through the door, and ends up outside. Mother Margaret sees Mother Superior's head right there. She's screaming, and Ricky is smiling, implying Ricky's not dead. And if you take a look at the cast of the third movie, Ricky's not dead. They somehow explain that. Again, it has been a while since I've seen it. So, yeah, let's just get on this trip and I haven't been reviewing as much wrestling lately, if you've been telling. So I decided to just dive into these. I don't think I'm going to dive into all 6. I mean, I could, but the new one comes out on December 11th, and I have a back-to-back to work this weekend into early in the week, so I don't know if I'm going to have a chance to do that. I also have new stuff to watch. So, yeah, Garbage Day. It's not good. It's not a good movie at all. But at least that sequence on the street sort of justifies the existence. But God, these filmmakers were lazy. And the studio is lazy. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Rentlin. And until we revisit the Valley of Ricky again. What the fuck is the Valley of Ricky? What am I on about? Happy trails to you.